Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
That one is ripped into center field. Bader on the run, dives and makes the play.
And then, yeah, a little style on the end.
High fly ball, center field. Kiermaier looks, see ya, over the batter's eye.
Today is May 16th. It's game 2 between the Yankees and the Blue Jays, and this was a weird one. Domingo Herman started off great, but got ejected during the middle of a perfect game, and IKF hit an opposite field home run. Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Wow. Welcome back, everybody. That was a weird game, to say the least. That was a tight game, and that was a much, much needed victory. Going to be an interesting belt vote tonight. I'm torn between Judge and IKF. Judge had a big home run tonight, but IKF had an all-around great game. I see votes for both in the chat, so keep the votes coming, and we will make a decision. So I think Twitter user Don Yankee said it best. He tweeted me. He said, "This game is weird AF," followed by a laughing emoji. Weird AF indeed. So all day long, we had the non-story about Judge looking at the Yankees or dugout during his at-bat. And apparently that's an unwritten rule now. You can't even look at your own dugout if they're making noise. You have to maintain direct eye contact with the pitcher at all times. Yes, ended up doing a forensic analysis. They looked at every at-bat. And that was the only time he looked at the dugout the entire game. So, and he had 2 home runs. And tonight, he hit another home run. So, obviously, no correlation there between his look at the dugout and his ability to hit the baseball. But there were some other issues tonight. Domingo Herman was ejected for using a foreign substance.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
And he's going to be suspended for 10 days. There's no way around it. He had some stuff on his pants. Look, Domingo has put the Yankees in a very difficult position. If this suspension gets levied, which it probably will, then the Yankees are going to be a pitcher short for the next 10 days. But they also had to get 18 outs out of the bullpen tonight. And we are fresh out of starting pitchers. So the Yankees are in a tough spot, but they won the game. So there's that. You got Garrett Cole coming tomorrow. You hope that, he can work deep into the game against the Jays. It's not going to be easy, and allow you to reset the bullpen. Would not shock me if there's some roster moves tonight. Anyway, let's get to the recap. We've got a quick dono here from Ian. He says, Judge blinked twice and twitched his nose. Clearly he knew what pitch was coming. And Schneider thinks he can call anyone fat. And he looks like he hasn't seen a treadmill in ages. That's adorable. So, okay. So this Schneider guy, it looked to me like he was calling Aaron Boone a frat boy. He said, go sit down. And it looked like he said frat boy to me. They were wondering why he would call Boone a fat boy, because Boone's not fat. And this guy was obviously fat. Speaking of fat, I caught a lot of heat on Alec Manoah today because I gave him a hard time last night. Look, you can look however you want, but the thing that got brought up by a lot of people was that CC Sabathia, Yankees had no problem with CC Sabathia. Well, CC Sabathia was an outlier, and I don't have a problem with Manoah. I'm just saying it's uncommon for a pitcher to be that overweight and remain successful for any length of time. Ask Fernando Valenzuela. So, Michael Pineda, another one. Anyway, Harrison Bader made an awesome catch in the bottom of the first inning to start things off. Whoops. There we go. He's probably the best outfielder I've ever seen at coming in on the ball. That includes Ken Griffey Jr., and that includes Bernie Williams. I'd put Griffey above Bader defensively, but not by much, but only because Griffey was taller and he could get over the fence a little bit and bring home runs back. I don't think Bader's going to bring as many balls back into the ballpark, but he's got great speed, every bit as good as Junior. Great arm, probably even better than Junior, although Junior did have a cannon. Anyway. Nicholas says, Blue Jays are just salty. Bunch of punks. I'm not going to argue with you. And then Yankee Clipper says, Hicks should get the belt. He didn't lose the game for us. Yikes. Tough crowd. So both Domingo and Gaussman were dealing early. Gaussman is one of those ones, I call it Gaussman sometimes, Gaussman. Just bear with me on that. It's just one of those weird words that my brain reads in two different ways. In the top of the third inning, IKF walked, and then Jose Trevino drilled a long single off the left field wall. He wasn't dogging it. He's just a slow catcher. Varsho played to carry him well. But Gleyber Torres singled in IKF to get the Yankees on the board. Opening salvo was fired. Later in the inning, Bader bounced out to third base to score a run, but Gleyber Torres got thrown out trying to take third base. And in baseball, there's this general rule of thumb that you avoid making the last out at third base. The probability of scoring from second base with 2 outs is not dramatically lower than scoring from third base with 2 outs. Therefore, it's not often worth taking the risk to get that extra base. And Gleyber had a tough night on the bases. He got thrown out a couple of times. The game was going great until the fourth inning. Domingo got ejected, as we mentioned. Ian Hamilton came in. He got 2 outs, loaded the bases, and then he left the game with right groin tightness. I'm blaming that on him just essentially not being ready to go because, Domingo was sailing. And he probably had to rush to get ready. Hopefully it's just a little bit of tightness. They said they're going to reevaluate him tomorrow. And hopefully he can avoid the IL, but I don't know. Groin injuries can be tough for a pitcher because it can alter your motion, cause arm issues. He's a very big, built, strong guy. So you kind of throw it out of whack, he might pull something else. Anyway, there's been quite a few times this season where I've just been like, damn it. The Giancarlo injury, the Judge injury, and this whole inning. I was just like, damn. It was just one of those, where you just don't have anything to say because it's just like a gut punch. So what were your favorite or least favorite damn it moments? Let me know in the chat. Later in the game, IKF went Oppo Boppo for a solo home run. Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
That ball is high.
I never thought he'd hit an opposite field home run in his life. I hope somebody got him the ball. But nice job for IKF. Later in the inning, Torres ripped another ball into left field for his second hit of the game, but he got thrown out going for second base. Unreal. Blue Jays got all over Marinaccio to tie the game at 3. Ryan Weber came in. I thought he did a fantastic job eating up some frames. I don't have his numbers up here, but I believe he pitched... Yes, he pitched 2 1/3 scoreless innings. No strikeouts, gave up 3 hits, but worked in and out of trouble and was very, very solid tonight. And then top 8, that man again.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
A Georgian blast.
2-run home run for the captain. Almost a replay of last night. 11th home run of the season. And he hit the maple leaf up there above, I think it's called the flight deck that they have up there where the hotel used to be. It hit the frickin' maple leaf and broke the maple leaf. StatCast said 448, looked more like 520 to me. But either way, it was ridiculous. Holmes worked into and out of trouble in the 8th. IKF doubled to lead off the 9th. I have a sneaking suspicion that he's getting the most votes for the belt. It looks good for him right now. Wandy Peralta came in the 9th, kind of worked into and out of trouble. Volpe made an error. He had kind of a tough night on the turf. Some of those balls got on him a little bit quick, but Wandy Peralta shut things down, and the Yankees have taken the first 2 games of the series, and as Mike Bruno says, a most satisfying victory.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
All right, belt vote. Do some last-minute tallying here.
You're a winner.
All right, we do have a winner. We're going to start off though with the participation trophy because we did have a couple of great performances tonight. Let's start off with the participation trophy to Mr. Aaron Judge. And that means that the belt winner for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
Let's go. Belt winner.
Just phenomenal. Phenomenal. All right, we're going to take some more of your comments. We're switching over to a new screen here. I thought that this little thing would be working here. This counter's not working, but we're going to take a look at the box score for tonight's game. If you bear with me just a second. All right. So, Yankees got 9 hits tonight, so they were definitely swinging the bat. The pitching, obviously, you had to get a lot of outs out of that bullpen. But for the most part, other than Marinaccio, everybody was terrific. Herman's ERA now down to 3.75. Although, how much of that is due to the sticky substances? Yikes. Yikes. We're in a tough spot without him for a couple of weeks, guys. We are in a tough spot because we don't have a lot of backup starting pitching to go to. Joe says we should get a tag team belt award. We do have a team belt, but I rarely give it. I rarely make a team belt. Let's go ahead and put the highlights back up, and we can just stay here on this screen tonight. I've got a couple of new screens that I worked on. Andrew says spider tack. I don't know if it was spider tack, but he definitely had some kind of goo on his pants. It was obvious, and that's definitely going into the the out of context reel. Nicholas says IKF should be our 5th man in the rotation. Best ERA on the team. Yeah, IKF came in to pitch earlier this season and did a nice job. I think he worked a scoreless inning. Robert Ryan says Herman is in love with the rosin. Does he bathe in it? So the way that I've heard it explained, and I never used rosin when I pitched, and I don't like the feeling of powder on my hands. Like I have sensitive skin, and I don't like it. But the way I understand it is that if you mix some rosin with some sweat from the brim of your, hat or whatever, it creates like a sticky, like almost a natural stickiness. And Major League Baseball is okay with that. So in order to be ejected, you've got to go above and beyond what you would typically get. And it looked like pine tar, as Victor Ortiz says. I agree. Andrew Calabria says potential that Severino comes back on Sunday. I should have mentioned that in the opening. I did write down just a couple of notes to mention that. He went 3 1/3 innings today. He gave up 2 runs. He threw 58 pitches. And there's a non-zero chance that his next start is in the major leagues. There's a possibility that he could pitch against Cincinnati. Now, he won't be able to throw 90 pitches or 100 pitches, but he could give you 65, 70 pitches. And against the Reds, that might be enough to give you 5 innings. He got hit a little bit, but he says that that's a thing that happens in the minor leagues when major league pitchers go down. I don't know if it's just a thing of just, you amp up the opposition to, face a major league pitcher, or you're just not taking them seriously because they're minor leaguers. I'm sure it's some combination of both. I'm sure some luck mixed in, in there as well. But, yeah, it was an okay outing, You'd like to see him go 5 innings at least once in the minor leagues before you call him up, but it is what it is. And also in the minor leagues tonight, the Somerset Patriots had a monster game. I'm going to pull up the score for that because that team is absolutely stacked. absolutely stacked-arino. Let's see, where is the box score? They won 14-10 today. So let's see here. It's tough to see that the interface isn't very great here, but Sweeney was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Dominguez was 3 for 6 with a home run. And since his slow start, he's hitting around 300. Wells had another 3-hit game, 4 RBIs. He hit another home run. He's got 5 home runs already. Pereira had 3 hits. I mean, that's all 4 of those top guys in the batting order could be in the major leagues at some point. I mean, that's a pretty damn good Double-A team. All right, let's take a few more comments. Era, I'm not even going to try that, says, bring up Clayton Beater to replace Herman. I'd love to see it. Beater throws hard. You know, he might be able to get through the lineup at least a couple of times. Felix Nunez says, holding his breath every time a ball is hit to Torres. Torres has had some issues defensively this year. I mean, he's swinging the bat better. You see the line drive there. He ripped one into the corner. But it's really been, you know, double plays a lot of the times. He's not getting it done on double plays. He's having some issues getting the ball out of his glove, and that's causing slow transfers and bad throws. Copenhagen Wintergreen says, pick up Mad Bum. I've been saying that the Yankees should consider him to replace Clark Schmidt, but, you know, I don't know. I'd almost rather go internal at this point. I'd rather see somebody like Clayton Beater, you know, even Davey Garcia. I realize that he's a relief pitcher now, but let him throw 3 innings, you know? I do feel like the Yankees need to do something to get some depth. You know, if they have to make a move, you know, you can see them making a trade. They're in a tough spot pitching-wise. And then, you know, they might be forced into making a deal. And it might be something, and Andy Yang brings up a possibility. He says, Luis Cessa got DFA'd. And we know the Yankees love Luis Cessa. Anyway. I think we got a couple of more super donos. Carlos says, the stuff in his pants was from the dip he took out of his mouth after he got thrown out. Before that, his pants were clean. Okay. Did not know that. He definitely had some stuff on his pants. I don't know what was on his hands. You know, we're not there. We're not in the clubhouse. You know, maybe it was just leftover residue from the inning before with the rosin and the sweat. But we've seen before this year that he's supposed to wash his hands in between innings. You're not supposed to come back out with that on. I don't know. There's something going on with Domingo Herman. And it really does put the Yankees in a bad position that he would be that reckless, unfortunately. Andy Yang says, Vlad Jr. said it's easy to play the Yankees. Guess he got humbled. Anyway. Sean says, Judge going to hit two more home runs tomorrow. I will take it. I will absolutely take it.
Game over, man. It's game over. I gotta get out of here.
You gotta go.
Couple more.
Most impressive.
Alejo says Michael King as a starter, but in the past, his struggling when he starts. Yeah, he's not a starting pitcher. He probably could now, but he's a high leverage relief pitcher at this point in his career. UT says Somerset Patriots are legit, and I 100% agree. Now, you might hear the wrap-up music for a second. I'm going to switch over to another screen that I wanted to try out here.
Game over, man.
There we go.
Game over.
There we go. All right, so we're wrapping up. I'm working on some new screens, trying to roll out the production a little bit over the next few weeks. I just got tired of looking at the same staleness, and I wanted to have the highlights a little bit bigger on the screen. So now we have 3 basic screens. We have the main, with the score and the stats and all that. And then we have the Diamond Vision with highlights and box score. And then we have this wrap-up screen here, which is, pretty much the same thing as the other one. But all right, guys. We got another super dono here, I think. This is from Demetrius. Says, MLB needs to figure this out. Domingo and Max had no change on RPMs need actual rules. 100%. Frankie says, Judge going to hit 63. Man, I'll tell you what, he missed 10 games. That probably takes him out of the 60s, but I think we're going to get at least another 40 home runs out of him. I think he's going to have a 50 home run season with nothing to look down on. We got 921 in the chat. Davis says, any worries about Volpe? No, I've seen a lot of players go through this when they come up. You go through offensive growing pains. You go through defensive growing pains. You have base running mishaps. It's all part of becoming a big league player. That's what a big league player tries is to develop a consistency in all aspects of their game. Volpe doesn't have that yet, and nor should he. He's only 21, but he's shown a lot of great things. He's shown that defensively he's got a lot of range. He's got a quick release. He's very good on the double play. Offensively, we've seen the power. He hits line drives. He hits the ball hard for his age. And obviously on the bases, he is a speed demon. So, there's a lot to like about Volpe. I'm not worried at all. Lucas thinks that Spencer Jones is headed to AAA. Let's say, I think Somerset's top four will be in AAA with Spencer Jones. Dominguez in the majors by season. Okay, so Dominguez calling up and Spencer Jones in AAA. I could see that. I've heard that Spencer Jones, he's got kind of a strikeout issue that he needs to work on. But that's to be expected because of his size. You can't be 6'7" and not strike out. You just got a bigger zone. Sam Austin says, Judge was genuinely ticked off today like I've never seen. Hopefully he stays pissed. I like seeing him get pissed. Parkson wants Gleyber traded. Yikes. Demetrius says, you sent to Super. I didn't see it. Let me scroll back up real quick. I don't always see them because, oh wait, no, there it is. Oh, we just read it. Yeah, so I think I'm caught up. I think I'm caught up on the Super Chats. Frankie says, Judge had 12 home runs on this date last year, 11 this year. Now, Frankie, remember, the season didn't begin last year until April 7th because there was the delay from the lockout. So I believe that was less games, but I could be wrong. So we are just past that point where last year he hit that walk-off home run against the Blue Jays. And that was one of the moments of the year. I can't wait to read the 62 book from Brian Hoke. I'm hoping he'll come on the show and talk about it. It comes out in a couple of weeks. He's been on a few times, but I haven't been able to get in touch with him recently. So if you know Brian Hoke, tell him to come on. I want to talk about his book. Parkson says that Peraza should be the shortstop and Volpe should be the shortstop. I think he means Volpe should be the second baseman. My brother had the same argument this weekend when I was up at his house visiting my mom for Mother's Day. He essentially agreed with Parkson. He says that Peraza's the guy. And that may very well be. But right now, Gleyber is your second baseman. And until he gets traded or leaves, you don't have to make a trade. I think that the ship has sailed on Volpe moving off a shortstop this year. And I think nor should he move off a shortstop. He's got better outs above average than, about 50% of the league. So he's doing fine. As the Yankee Clipper says, going to be just fine. Just got to be patient. So we got Garrett Cole going tomorrow to try and take the series. That'll make it 3-0, hopefully. And then you start thinking, if you win that, you start getting greedy and going for the sweep. But I'm looking forward to it. Tonight was a fun night. We'll see what Judge has in store for us tomorrow. Welcome back to the Twilight Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe IKF can hit 3 home runs tomorrow. We'll see. I'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. That's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks so much for watching and listening to the podcast. We appreciate your support, and we've got a few ways that you can help us continue to grow. First off, you know this. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps other passionate fans like you discover us and join the conversation. If you're active on social media, give us a follow on Twitter at NYY Recaps Derek and Instagram at NYY Recaps for in-game and post-game content. And if you want to take your support a step further, consider becoming a member to get your name featured in lights on each post-game show. And I try and put out occasional members-only videos. We're going to be doing more of that soon because we've got a significant amount of members now. And for all you Yankees fans out there, visit NYYRecaps.shop to snag some awesome merch for your favorite players. We've got hats, hoodies, mugs, coasters, artwork, you name it. Thanks again for tuning in. And if you want more content from Derek, that's me, the creator of this channel, check out my other channel, STREAMSKI. It's got content on things like UFOs, paranormal activity, all that kind of fun stuff. So check it out. I'll see you next time.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.